gentlemen of the internet, fellow Amiiboists, welcome to Amiiboism episode 3. This is a special place for fellow Amiibo and Nintendo fans to gather, probably almost every Sunday, to celebrate all things Nintendo and, say thanks for the Amiibos of that week. So this week I would like to thank uh, Mr. Iwata, Mr. Miyamoto, and Mr. Fizame for blessing us this week with some Amiibo. Thank you so much. Hopefully everybody got their share. So as always, this week we're going to start off with showing the Amiibo of the week, since we do have some new ones this week. And after that, we'll go through a few quick topics, end with a segment called The Line, and then call it a day on that. But while we're showing the Amiibos, I do want to follow up with last week. I had mentioned in episode 2 that GameStop was probably selling people's pre-orders at noon in one of the GameStops in my local area. Turns out that was true. They are. GameStop does do that. They say that they give the main policy is they give people 48 hours to pick up pre-orders. If they don't, then they sell them to the public. I mean, I guess 48 hours is kind of fair. I don't feel like people got 48 hours in our area because I think, Vic, who ended up getting me the first amiibo that I'm going to show, he got it at noon on the 13th, which was the day that these were supposed to come out. So I don't quite get it, but that's that. But to get it started off, I'll go ahead and show the first one. So I got this actually Sunday when I was just after I recorded episode 2. I had mentioned that I would possibly be getting this from the GameStop. Vic was nice enough to pick it up for me and then bring it to me at work the next day for the very nice cost of nothing extra, which is really nice of him. Really, really nice of him to do that for me. Thank you, Vic. I always got your back. The next thing today, today, the day that I'm recording this is the 20th. The day that you'll see this video will be the 22nd, which is a Sunday. So today we were once again no later than 6 at the store that we had the information was going to have the Amiibos. Today it was Best Buy. They had Medaknight. And I guess just to get, straight to it, not to build it up too much. My corner's actually, let me go ahead and show that. My corner's a little bit bent, which is pretty unfortunate, but I think you squeeze it together and it doesn't look way too bad. Really sad. No, that'll be okay. It's a really, 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 really small thing. But so I was able to get a Medaknight. And again, the scarcity of these amiibo is pretty darn crazy. So the Best Buy in my town had 6 of these available for all of us that were out sitting in the line today. And the line today had 11 to 12 people, which was a pretty good showing. I've seen bigger lines for amiibo, but that was a pretty good showing. And again, only 6 people got amiibo. And we'll talk more about the line and all that a little bit later. And then real quick, last episode, again, I was really tired. If you did watch that episode, I do thank you very, very much for that, because that must have been painful to sit through, because even while I was recording it, I was really realizing that, I sounded delirious and everything. Tonight, I actually got a little bit of sleep before we went out and met up at Best Buy, so I'm doing a little bit better right now than I was at this point last week, so we'll see how much that holds up. But so I can't remember last week if I mentioned it or not, but I had got a Toad pre-order, and I was supposed to mention that, and I think I got sidetracked, but I might have mentioned it. Like I said, I don't remember. But I got a Toad pre-order as soon as I found out that there was a pre-order, and I pre-ordered it, and it went through, and I realized that it happened. I threw a tweet out there on Twitter mentioning that I had got the pre-order, and that if people were interested, they should probably hit up the GameStop website and pre-order that. But that's what I'm going to probably do. Well, that's what I'm going to do in the future for any other pre-orders. If I find out that a pre-order has opened up either on Amazon or at a certain retailer or anything, as soon as I find out that information, and if it's still valid at the time that I find out, then I will tweet about it. And you can follow me on Twitter at StevenBearKing to keep up with all of that. Um, but I just wanted to mention that real quick about Toad. And the next thing I kind of want to talk about, and again, we'll try to be quick with all these topics just to get through everything in a reasonable amount of time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. But we we've talked already a few times about the scarcity of these amiibo in the couple episodes that we've had before this one, and I just want to say that Ike wasn't at Best Buy today, which is quite sad because that means so far as anybody knows, as far as we can tell, there's only been one Ike in my town so far, and that was the pre-order Ike at Toys R Us last week, the 13th of February 2015. So that was it's still sad that we haven't seen them. And we checked Walmart today when Walmart opened up. They didn't have anything new. They had a couple of Toon Links now, which they haven't had before. Um, or they might have last week. I can't remember, but I don't think they did. We also, we checked GameStop. People are supposed to be getting like Sonic and Mega Man pre-orders in GameStop today. But of course, GameStop says their truck's not coming till the afternoon, so they told people with pre-orders to check back in after 3 p.m. So way to go, GameStop, not having Amiibo in on Amiibo Day. You're not celebrating Amiiboism the right way, GameStop. You're not. Um, but that's kind of going to lead into our next topic, which is, we have all these rare characters. The Fire Emblem characters have obviously been rare so far, Ike and Marth. In the next wave, which I meant to look up before this episode, but I didn't. I should have it written down in my notes, and I don't have all of them written down, but we'll try to remember as many of them as we can. That's not a big deal. You guys can fill in the blanks for me if you get the chance. But I just want to know, do you guys think if third-party characters will actually be rare, or if you think they'll just be kind of like uncommon, or do you think they'll actually get more shipments of these characters, and that Nintendo will be polite with these third-party characters and allow people to actually buy them? I kind of lean towards the side that I think they're going to be rare, at the very least uncommon, but I really think they're rare. So far we saw 6 Mega Man at Toys R Us, and they actually ended up having 7. And today they had 2 Mega Man at Best Buy to go along with the 6 Medaknights that they had. So that's not a lot of Mega Mans rolling around, and they didn't get any Sonic at Best Buy today. So again, they could be getting them in later shipments. I have kind of noticed that it seems like stores are getting them in waves at different times. That's got to be because distribution for different stores, they're all companies all run in different ways. So, even if Nintendo gets it to the stores at the same time, the time that it takes the stores to actually get them out to their stores, will be different depending on what stores you're looking at. But I just kind of wanted to put that question forward and see which amiibo you guys think will be rare, if you think the third-party amiibos will be rare. Because in the next wave, Wave 4, which is our next topic, we do actually have another third-party character, which is going to be Pac-Man, a Namco-owned character, who I think this is his first Smash Brothers game. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is his first game. And, I kind of wonder if he's going to be rare. So far, we've been checking, Vic has been checking constantly to find when these pre-orders are going to go up for Wave 4 at GameStop. Again, as soon as the pre-orders are taken care of, and right away I'll tweet and let everybody know that it's going on and everything. But hopefully we can manage to get those pre-ordered, and then maybe the line situation won't be as hectic as it is when we're usually waiting, dying to know if they have enough for us to actually get an amiibo. Again, this week we were successful. Last week we were successful. Wave 4, I don't think has set release dates yet. I think they're saying March, April. Um, so we're just gonna have to look out for those release dates. Keep, calling and talking to these folks over at the retail stores and finding the scoops on the Wave 4 amiibos. But I'm really looking forward to Wave 4. Charizard especially is like the most important character in that wave that I'm really looking forward to. But this is the first wave that I think is actually going to have two Fire Emblem characters, and I think it's Lucina and Robin. And so that's actually, I expect those two, considering the trend with Marth and Ike, I expect the two other Fire Emblem characters will probably be significantly rare. So grabbing a pre-order on that somewhere would probably be a best bet, even though pre-orders aren't even a guarantee anymore. Like your pre-order can get canceled, or if you don't pick it up in time, they can get sold and all that good stuff. But it's nice to have that extra net of a pre-order just in case maybe you miss out on actually picking one up in the store, which is really, really becoming a possibility. Again, I've been fortunate in the first two lines that I've talked about in episode 1 and episode 2, but there's been a lot of people in those lines who weren't fortunate. And again, I wasn't fortunate in the Rosalina line at Target. I'm still missing out on a Rosalina, so um, the amiibo are rare. Like that's just the way that it's coming down to it. A lot of these amiibo are becoming very rare, very quick. But I'm looking forward to it. There's also, I think, going to be Wario in Wave 4. I wouldn't mind having Wario. He's kind of a cool character. I'm trying to think what else is in Wave 4. I know I'm missing one or two of them, but off the top of my head, I can't quite picture them. But that's okay. Like I said, let me know which ones I'm missing, and I'll definitely try to remember to mention them in the next video. Again, right before this video, I was going to look them up, and I just get excited to record, and I just start recording, and next thing you know, my notes are incomplete, and I look like a bumbling fool, but that's cool. So that's our topics for this week. We actually did get through it pretty quick, which is good. Again, I'm not trying to take way too much time, but I do want to end the show with one of our a reoccurring segment so far, and hopefully it'll be continue to be a reoccurring segment when it happens. But that's going to be talking about the line that I was in today. And again, I apologize for episode 2 because I was extremely tired, and I'm tired today, but I'm not as bad. Uh, but I tried to tell the story about the two gentlemen and what happened with the jacket. And even while I was telling it, I can tell, like, man, I'm lost in this story. It's not coming out. It's not being told as well as I would have liked it to have been told. And I think one of the big reasons for that was because I didn't have names for these people, and I wouldn't use their real names even if I did have them. But it didn't occur to me to just like make up nicknames before I told the story. That way, it would have been a little easier to keep track and explain what actually happened. So I decided, for this segment of the line, I'm going to go ahead and give everybody nicknames. So that way, when I'm telling the stories and as these people show up in future segments of the line, because I'm sure we'll see these people again in line trying to get Amiibo, I'll have a little more reference for you guys to keep track with the story. And so I really wanted to kind of talk about, if you notice in the thumbnail, there's a picture of 4 people. One of them's me, and then 3 other people. Um, those are a few of the Amiibos that I've met. One of them hung out in the line long today with us for the first time. Last time he had just missed out on Mega Man, and it was kind of messed up actually, and I'm going to tell that story. And then other cat was actually with us in line the last time at Toys R Us, and he got Mega Man that day, but he kind of missed out on King DDD and Sonic. And he has a Sonic now, and he's just still looking for King DDD and Ike, and that'll actually complete his collection up to the waves that are out now. So that's really good for him. That's a good collection going on. He's going to finish that fairly soon. I'm pretty confident of that. And Vic himself is actually pretty close to completing the set. I think he's missing the same. Well, he has King DDD, but I think he's missing the same number of amiibos, like 2 amiibo. So that's not too bad for Vic. So Vic's gonna finish his collection pretty soon too. So that's cool. My collection, as you guys know, not close to being completed, but maybe we'll get there one day. Stick around, we'll find out. Um, but so in this picture, you got 4 gentlemen. I'm not gonna point out who's who, but you got me and Vic, and then one gentleman. We're gonna call the film buff because he likes to talk about film. He's involved in trying to make film and things like that. He's real interested. He knew a lot. He's a really cool guy. Probably the coolest dude that we've chatted with in the lines so far. And so he's in the picture, and then along with Mr. Quiet. And Mr. Quiet's the guy at Toys R Us who had a very unfortunate situation. So at Toys R Us, the Toys R Us manager was telling us, we have. Actually, I could just go back to my notes from episode 2, huh? Let's see here. So they had 6 Mega Man altogether plus 1 pre-order. And so what happened is he was telling people that that he only had uh, what was it, 5 Mega Man. He must have been telling him that he had 5 Mega Man when he had 6, and 1 was a pre-order, and then another one he thought was already accounted for. And so he had actually shooed Mr. Quiet away from Toys R Us, saying that he was out of Mega Man, when in fact, and the numbers really don't matter, the basic matter of the fact is that he had 1 more Mega Man to sell when he had told Mr. Quiet to bounce, which when he came out like 20 minutes later and realized one of the people online had a pre-order, and it was the Amiifo. He had a pre-order, and we'll get to him. And I said it last week. So he had the pre-order. He missed. So he ended up not needing an extra Mega Man for that gentleman, and that's why there was 1 more Mega Man than he thought, because he wasn't going to sell him a Mega Man and give him his pre-order Mega Man, which is actually pretty fair. So so Mr. Quiet bounced, and we weren't sure if there was going to be. The only thing that we knew today was that there was going to be Medaknight. And actually, while we were talking in the line, and Vic's wife was there this morning, but she ended up having to leave for class and all that, and had things to do today, so she wasn't able to stay. But we were chatting earlier in the morning, and she had heard and told Vic that the guy had said 12 Medaknight, which could be possible because maybe they weren't taking in consideration that they did have some set aside for pre-order and some to sell. And I don't know how many they had for pre-order. I just know how many they had available to sell to us in line. But we were talking, and she was hearing that they had 12. Another gentleman had heard 9. And then the film buff was hearing that they had 6, and he was the one who actually had the correct information. But before we actually found out, and they passed out tickets, which you can see in the picture, we didn't know how many of what they had at all, and we didn't find out until about 45 minutes before the store opened, when they came out with the tickets. That's when they told us how many they had. It was kind of nice. I guess they gave like a 5% off coupon for everybody else who was in line that didn't get a Medaknight. So that was kind of nice of them. I guess they didn't have to do that, but they also could have, I guess, came out and told us sooner, so that those people weren't waiting in line for as long as they were, like the manager at Toys R Us did for us. He let us know well ahead of time how many they were, even though that ended up in Mr. Quiet missing a Mega Man that day. And some random person who hadn't even been there that early ended up actually getting it. It's just kind of crazy situation. So we were all bummed when we found out that he could have got a Mega Man because he got shooed away. And then we were happy today that he did get one of the two Mega Man that were in Best Buy today. So we were happy that he got a Mega Man after all. So happy ending to an almost devastating story for a fellow Amiiboist. But anyways, I had mentioned the Amiifo was there, and the Amiifo from the last episode is the guy who I was trying to explain that was called out right when he got there by a couple people as being mean, and then later on he asked one of those gentlemen who had one of those gentlemen, this gentleman we're going to call Raw Fish. So this was the guy wearing the jacket. He had pointed out that the Amiifo was mean, and then probably I would say about 20 minutes later, the Amiifo had asked Rawfish if he could use his jacket, and Rawfish, sure enough, gave him his jacket, even though he had just like basically said he didn't really like the dude. So we all thought that was kind of an interesting moment in the history of the line, but nonetheless, that's what happened. And so the Amiifo was there. The Amiifo, he won the Amiiboism award for getting the most amiibo because he had his mother there today, and he ended up getting the last of the six Medaknights. So he was number 5 and number 6 with his mom there to pick up the extra Medaknight for him. So he's going to have good trade value in that Medaknight, actually, really good trade value. I think we saw one go on eBay for 90 bucks, and that was actually before today. So we'll see what happens to the prices on that. But just even to trade, you might be able to get like two uncommon amiibo for that, pretty easily probably. But and Rawfish wasn't in the line today because he was at the Best Buy in his hometown. He didn't have to come all the way over here to sit in line with us today. But maybe we'll see him at another store again, depending on what goes on. One of the stores in his area, I don't think he's had a good time at, so I don't think he likes to go there. Another guy who showed up in the last line a little bit late also was late today. Loss prevention. He showed up a little bit too late at Toys R Us. And then today, I think he was a little bit earlier, but he missed actually by one. He was the seventh person in line. So Amiifo's mom got Loss Prevention's Meta Knight Amiibo. So unfortunate for him, he's gonna have to step up his Amiibo game and try to get there earlier to maybe beat Amiifo because he does have a chance. Amiifo doesn't get there um, as early, so that's not a big deal. He could probably do it if he really wants to. Again, all in all, the line has kind of been the most surprising part about Amiibo hunting for me. Being in two of them so far and already planning that as soon as we can, we'll be in another one. Um, I've actually been surprised that even though you're tired, even though it's cold, it's early in the morning, once you get chatting with the people and you find out that you guys all have things in common. Of course, you're there for one thing that you have in common, but then you find out you have other things in common. You even find out maybe mutual friends and things like that. So it's pretty cool that we're out there and we're getting amiibo, but we're also forming a community and forming friends and things like that, which I really find to be actually pretty cool. And even sometimes people miss out on amiibo, and you try not to hold any hard feelings, and you just know that that's the way it is, and you try to do better next time, and you really hope the best for everybody. We all actually wish that none of this was going on, that we could just casually buy the amiibo that we want, but unfortunately that's not the case, so it becomes a little competitive. But that doesn't mean that you can't be friendly and work together at the same time. So that's been really cool. So I just want to thank everybody at the line who's been cool. And then I want to go ahead and say, even though the Amiifo, we kind of joke around about it. He seems like a cool kid. He just might be like a little socially awkward, which we've all been there. So that's not a big deal. He's a cool kid, but we're gonna call him the Amiifo because it's funny and because he's the last person that we wanted to see get two Meta Knights. He was the last person we wanted to see who had the pre-order for Ike, and so he's just been kind of he's just been kind of getting the upper hand on us. So sorry if you're hearing folks in the background. Again, we got a lot of work going on at the house and stuff. But that's going to actually do it for this episode. This has been episode 3 of Amiiboism. Again, just a place to celebrate everything Nintendo. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Again, this will be a weekly, almost probably video or podcast, and you can look forward to that most of the time. Between that, we do have other videos. Most of them are Let's Plays. We do some unboxings here and there, things like that. So you could definitely check out all those videos when you subscribe. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at StevenBearKing for future Amiibo updates as I get them, if they're current when I get them, because sometimes you hear about Amiibo and it's already too late, and I don't want to put false hope out there for people that you can get it. I'll only let you know if I really have faith that if you see the tweet at the time that it goes out, that you might be able to make something of it. So that's that. Again, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on another video. Peace.